The movie begins in the desert with a squad of U.S. soldiers on a mission to pursue a terrorist who has taken hostages in a secluded cave. They are led by Sergeant Coulthard, who promptly relays this information to his leaders, informing them of the location and where the terrorist has taken the hostages. They assure him that reinforcements will be sent to their location. However, the sergeant, impatient to wait for the reinforced soldiers, expressed a desire to proceed immediately. The soldiers agreed to go on their own, entering the cave after readying their weapons. As they progressed, the surroundings darkened, and with sundown imminent, they proceeded cautiously, relying on their night vision equipment to navigate through the perilous situation. With caution and deliberate slowness, they descended further into the cave, prepared to confront the terrorists at any moment. However, as they progressed a little farther, Harper, the only female soldier, observed an unexpected brightness in the cave. Upon closer inspection, she discerned a glowing liquid that subtly illuminated the surroundings, enhancing visibility within the cave. They continued their mission. Before venturing further, they discovered a fresh dead body on the cave floor. All that remained were skeletal remains and a spatter of blood. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was one of the soldiers among the hostages. Perplexed by the nature of the injuries, they also found the remains of 2 more soldiers, reduced to skeletons. Puzzled about the weapon or force that could cause such skeletal devastation, amidst this confusion, they heard a gunshot. Instantly alert and ready for action, they prepared to return fire, only to realize that the sound emanated from a considerable distance away. As they approached the source of the gunfire, a strange spider-like creature descended onto one of the soldiers. The soldier panicked and made frantic attempts to remove it. Another soldier swiftly intervened, catching the creature with his hand, only to reveal a menacing monster. Startled, the soldier promptly tossed it away. However, the creature retaliated with an attack. The sergeant promptly stepped in, decisively crushing the creature. Suddenly, eerie and unsettling sounds resonated in the cavern. The soldiers were alarmed to witness a swarm of small, spider-like creatures converging on their position. Shocked, the soldiers hastily initiated evacuation procedures, firing at the approaching creatures. Despite their efforts, the creatures managed to capture one of the soldiers, surrounding him and voraciously devouring his flesh, killing him instantly. This horrifying incident left the remaining soldiers in a state of profound shock. As panic ensued, the disoriented soldiers, caught in a chaotic situation, continued firing at the relentless horde. The creatures advanced with unwavering determination, overwhelming the soldiers who struggled to keep up with the numerous spiders, swiftly claiming another victim. Aggressively, they devoured him alive, instantly ending his life. In the face of this dire situation, the surviving 3 soldiers sprinted towards the depths of the cave, seeking refuge. Upon reaching a larger chamber, they regrouped and prepared to confront the approaching horde. To their surprise, the sea of flesh-eating spiders abruptly halted at the cave entrance, as if restrained by an unseen force. Though the soldiers felt a sense of relief, understanding that the pursuit had ended, their attention was quickly drawn to a remarkable structure. It was embellished with a colossal building adorned with a massive and ominous statue. In the midst of their confusion, they spotted the terrorists they had been pursuing. The terrorists were attempting to enter the imposing building. With swift precision, the sergeant responded by aiming his weapon and opening fire, effectively eliminating 2 terrorists in the process. Observing a subtle entrance in the rear of the massive building from a distance, the soldiers decided to approach it. They began descending the colossal steps leading to the entrance. As they descended the massive steps towards the building, the soldiers heard the unmistakable sound of the flesh-eating spiders, but this time louder and more ominous. Larger and more menacing spider creatures rushed toward them. The soldiers swiftly responded, initiating a fierce firefight against the approaching horde. A battle ensued, with the soldiers deploying all their available resources to combat the overwhelming threat of the giant spiders. The situation escalated into a full-blown war. Yet the spiders claimed another soldier, overwhelming him and consuming him in a horrifying manner. Faced with the grim reality of their friend's demise, the 2 remaining soldiers had no choice run away. They sprinted towards the mystical building. Once they safety, the soldiers hastily checked their arsenal, only to discover they had limited ammunition and weaponry, a single gun and a 1 grenade. In the midst of their bewilderment, the substantial chain passed through both the statue and the building, beginning to move. Suddenly, a menacing voice echoed through the building, uttering eerie and incomprehensible language. Harper, eager to escape through the cave she saw in the distance, hesitated, while Sergeant Coulthard cautiously proceeded to investigate. Though uneasy about the idea, Harper reluctantly followed him due to fear of the unknown. As they entered the building, they beheld a colossal and nightmarish creature bound by a massive, glowing chain. The creature was grotesque, with multiple horned limbs and features reminiscent of an octopus, unlike anything in the known world. The soldiers were struck with disbelief at the sight, but suddenly, the creature opened its numerous eyes and unleashed a formidable power that overwhelmed the soldiers. In intense pain, they collapsed to the ground, clutching their heads. In a disorienting vision induced by the creature, Harper witnessed a chilling scenario in which the world was dominated by the creature, leading to the extermination of all humanity from the world. The creature asserted control over the sergeant, compelling him to release it by breaking the mystical chains. The sergeant, utilizing the remaining grenade, aimed to destroy the chains. Nevertheless, Harper intervened, skillfully managing to divert the grenade's detonation, and thereby saving the day. However, now under the creature's control, the sergeant drew a knife and attempted to attack her. Despite her pleas for him to stop, the creature's influence impelled the sergeant forward, resolute in taking her life. In a desperate bid to defend herself, Harper swiftly drew her gun and shot the sergeant in the head, incapacitating him. As the only survivor, she turned her attention to the creature. She started firing, but to her dismay, the bullets had no effect. The creature, using its dark power, exerted control over her, compelling her to release it, mirroring the fate of the sergeant. Despite the creature's manipulation, Harper managed to escape the building and stumbled through the unforgiving desert. In a desperate act of self-sacrifice, she cut off one of her own ears, and gouging out her eyes to resist the creature's control. Her sacrifice was not in vain, as the creature's influence was severed. Her courageous actions, though harrowing, had saved humanity from a dire fate.